Hello folks, welcome to another Construct stream. It's Tuesday and it is the return of the Construct Twitch Jam. Alright, let's see what it gives us. Okay, castle as the environment, complete the puzzle for the goal. The genre is action, the rules are avoid enemies, and our wild card is multiplayer. Well, we're not doing a multiplayer game in an hour and 15 minutes, so that's out. Now, the way this works is that because it's such a short space of time, I've set the rules that I can pick whichever of these things I want to actually interpret. So if I wanted to, I could literally just make a weird game about a castle, and that would fit. As long as your game fits one of the themes, then it's okay. So if you wanted to do just a plain multiplayer game in 75 minutes, be my guest. But, you know, doing all 5 of those in such a short space of time is a huge ask. But I would love to see someone do it one day. I don't think that'll be me. So yeah, I think let's have an aim. I'm gonna plan this slightly better than I did last time. Maybe cheating. We haven't started yet and we have the theme, so we get a few minutes to muse on things. So I think we have a block pushing puzzle with enemies that use line of sight / ray casting. Then yeah, avoid enemy gaze and get to goal, or avoid enemy gaze, complete puzzle, get to goal. Now, nothing about this puzzle is going to be complicated because I do not have time to come up with a complicated puzzle. That's enough musing. We have our themes, we have an aim. Let's try and build this. The time starts now. Okay, so obviously we are going to need a player object. So layout 1, show grid, snap to grid, and we want 16 by 16. Please. Thank you. So we have our player, which is going to need tile movement, not an instance variable, a behavior please. Tile movement. Excellent. We will also need some blocks to push, and these are our blocks. And these need the solid behavior. Okay, we'll need some buttons, I guess, to push the blocks onto. Okay, maybe we make it a maze. So there's a bit of, that's kind of also a puzzly element, which means we need some walls. So that's a button. That's a wall. The walls also need to have the solid behavior. Okay. This is quite a good size viewport, considering the size of our things. If I could be bothered, I would actually figure out the right maths for the viewport. I guess we're also going to need a goal for our player to get to so that we know that you completed the puzzle. So that is our goal. So let's say that's there. Our player can start up here somewhere. Let's put some more walls in so we make it more like a maze. I think that's a, yeah, we'll have a little door. So there is the door. We need some more walls. Okay, so there's our goal. Actually, maybe we have several of those. So that's where you start. Actually, we have a button ID. Button ID. And then the door has a door ID. Okay, so if we just add the keyboard in quickly, and if we say that the player has to push a button when they're next to a block to push it, then possibly what we can do, if we give it that, give it the bullet behavior, we can say when it's pushed it goes until it goes to a solid, then we disable the behavior. So you're kind of firing it round as if it was on, I guess ice puzzles is kind of the sort of thing I'm thinking in my head. Let's see if that works. So keyboard, on key press, let's say spacebar, that's an old favourite, and the player is overlapping it's going to be an offset, I think is the easiest way to do it. It's overlapping a block. Actually, let's put that in a sub event. Then we want to enable the bullet behavior. So initially that needs to be disabled. Don't want to set the angle. Push it, just set the speed to 100 for the minute. And then add an event, blocks on collision. Actually, let's make a family for that, which is include the blocks and wall. I guess probably the door. And that's solids. So on collision with any of the solids, disable the bullet behavior. Oh, okay, we're going to need to set the angle for direction, so maybe they do need to be sub events. Let's try, can we push up? Yes, we can. Beautiful. Which just means that these two need to be the other way around. Yes! We have got boxes that move. I am happy. Lovely. Add event. If a block is overlapping another object, then we want to... Oh, no, it needs to be overlapping the button. Then, how do we pick? I need to pick. Pick by comparison. We want to pick the door whose door ID is equal to the button's button ID. And then we want to destroy the door. Let's see if we can do that. So that's button ID could be 0. That one can also be 0. I need to change that to 1 for the minute just so it doesn't destroy it. Okay. Yes! It works. We can get out the door. I like it. This is the start of a puzzle. Okay, so we have a basic mechanic. Just need to get in some more buttons, some more doors, and some enemies, I guess. Let's drop in an enemy object. Okay, enemy, you need line of sight. Line of sight, there we go. So we need to, on the start of the layout, add the player and the solids family to the as goodness me, use your words, as obstacles, that's the word. Drag that to the top, and we want to also add the player. Cool. Line of sight obstacles are in place, so we need to, once we've done that, start casting rays from self X, self Y, instance variables because we need to tell it how far it can see. So line of sight distance. This plays into my hands because I've done something similar for my Pokemon style NPCs. So we can set each enemy to have a set number of tiles that it can see. Enemy cast ray from self X to self Y to self X plus we need to know which direction the enemy is facing. Which is going to be a string. I feel like I should have something on the enemy to actually show you which way it's facing, because otherwise that's a little mean. Okay, so let's have some arrows just so we can figure this out. There we go. Right, let's change how we're going to do that. So add event, enemy, compare instance variable, direction is equal to right. Which I don't know. 1. Cool. Set frame to 1. I'm going to need to go in and change that to speed 0 so we don't change it. 1, 2, 3. So left should be 3. Up will be 2, and down is 0. So we can see which direction the enemy is facing, which means you could at least see which way it should be looking at you. Add action, cast ray. So if we're facing right, we want to add to the X value, self.x plus line, line of sight distance to self.y. And we copy that. Right, so the enemies should at least be looking. Let's add another one, which is ray hit ID. Let's add another layer, which is going to be, I'm just going to call it HUD, because what we want is a text object which just says that's going to be our win, lose text. That says test, but I don't care. So if an enemy spots you on ray intersected, we want to set the instance variable to self dot line of sight dot hit UID, and then if ray hit ID is equal to player dot UID, player disable tile movement, set the HUD layer visible, and set the text to you were spotted, game over. Cool. I have no idea if that's going to fit. Let's find out. Right, let's face you down. Nope. I don't know, 80. Down. Who knows if this works? Well, that's good, because that's... Oh, did I get those the wrong way around? I think I did. Yeah, up was the first one. So down is 2. And up is 0. Yeah, that should be fine. Just make sure that changes. I don't quite know why you've moved, but okay. Oh, was the Oh, that's why. Okay, cool. Quick assign, top left, and apply to whole animation. Thank you. There we go. Buttons. Okay. Boxes on the button. Well, that's a good start. Alright. I'm happy at least my boxes work. That makes me happy. Aha! Kind of weird, but at least it kind of works. Oh, that's going to be to do with the collision cell, isn't it? Because it's tiny. And because that is up there, or self.x is like right in the corner. So that's why we have self.x plus 8 and self.y plus 8. And that sets it to the center. I remember. Okay, that should be all of them. So in theory now, when you walk in the middle of it, then it will work. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Let's just make sure that a layer is initially invisible. But what we do want to do is drop a button in that says retry. Again, initially invisible. And then we want to wait for 2 seconds and then set the button to visible. Add event. I better add the mouse into this. Mouse. Because I can't be bothered to figure out how to get the I don't want to do all the keyboard moving for buttons and that kind of thing. It's a bit complicated for this short time span. On object clicked on our button. Add action. Restart layout. Okay. Let's see if that works. Yay! Hooray. On start of layout, add action, we need to make sure that HUD layer is invisible. Cool. Nope, invisible please. Thank you. Well, I think that's the basic mechanics in. Except our win condition, actually. Let's just put the win condition in, which is player is overlapping the goal. Oh yeah, again. Disable tile movement, which I need to actually make sure it's enabled on start of layout, otherwise the player can't move. Just in case. Should be fine, but you never know. Add action, set our text. You made it to the goal. Yay. And that's it. I don't want to restart it again. Okay. Something quite cool. I'm interested to see the amount of time you have puzzle level design. 40 minutes. We have 40 minutes left on this game jam, and there's about, I don't feel like there's any more mechanics I need to legitimately add. Now the complicated thing comes in where we end up with more enemies and more doors, and we have to make sure everything lines up. So this is where it gets interesting. Now, because we need a way of stopping the block, the button's always going to have to be against a wall. Because that's the way I've designed this in 30 seconds. So, I don't know, let's put the button there, maybe? I don't know, I'm trying to visualize. I should really have bought a notebook in and tried to draw this in my head, but never mind. And some other wall bits. I am making this up as I go along. But that's all puzzles, right? Huh. How far can we get on that? Let's move you there. And I'm going to turn off... just move you over there. Make sure you can actually do the puzzle first. Or at least, you know, get somewhere. Put that one over there. And that goes over there. Excuse me. And immediately we've encountered a problem. Right. So bullet is not going to work in this case unless I can find a way of keeping it in the actual tile map. Okay, let's just disable that for the minute. And if we give it tile movement, where are you? There we go. We want to turn 16, default controls off. So instead of, actually I don't need all of that disabled, do I? Just this stuff. So if it's overlapping the block, so that's going to the right. Space is down. What am I doing? Blocks, simulate movement, or simulate control to the right, and then well, I don't know if that's going to keep going. Oh, actually, let's try it as key is down. Because we might then not actually need that. Right, so that should be left. That should be down. And that one up. Aha! That's fine. Okay, so I guess we're going to need to do this in more traditional, what I call strength style puzzles. Okay, so this is going to need to be a bit more strategic, so we'll have more enemies. But you can push the blocks freely, so you have to avoid the enemies and push the blocks. Yes. Into the face of the enemies. Just make sure. Yeah, he still can't see me, that's good. Oh no. That's awkward. Yeah, because you're technically over. Okay. Right, one way we can hopefully avoid this is by giving the player a direction. So let's do the same thing we've done to the player that we've done to the enemy. That should be a string, not a number. Okay. So, add event, keyboard, on key pressed, right arrow. Maybe we do it again on key is down. Let's try it on key down rather than pressed. Player, set direction to right. This probably isn't the most elegant way of doing this, but we'll do it anyway. So right should be 1. There we go. Yay! what am I, there, compares this variable. Direction is equal to right. This may not work with key down because you don't really want to be pressing space and a directional key. In fact, I don't quite know how that's going to work, but that's okay. Well, actually, I keep my key down, and that actually stops multiple blocks from moving together. That's good. That's what we like. Let's put another enemy in here, just because why not? So let's make sure we can get to the goal and it all works. And then we'll figure out a puzzle. Maybe. Okay, that's going through there. That's fine. We can ignore him because he's now facing a different way. Get rid of that one. And that one. 1, 2. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get rid of that one. Nope. Cool. That's not synced properly. 2, 2. Okay. I'm gonna add another thing in there. No idea if this is gonna make any difference. For each button. That one works. Good. That one works. Yay! There we go. Good old for eaches. Good, so the game itself works. We fixed our button problem, we just need to put some puzzles in. If I had time, then I would... Oh, I got 11 minutes. Then maybe we can. Let me just see. Give them another instance variable, which is spin. Which is a boolean. Because I can only be able to put in one kind of motion right now. Add event, enemy, is boolean set, spin, add action, set animation speed to 5. Nope, okay. Ah, so yeah, you can't set the direction. Right, so I need to move where the direction is set. If it's spinning. Then we take that, so check the frame. This is where you say you swap the way the animation and the direction are done. So if the frame is 0, which is up. This may end up clashing with each other, but... So if enemy is spin, let's have another one which says enemy is not spin. And we'll pop that on top of this. Okay. And again, we can just move and bring this up to here. Again, not elegant, but in theory it might work. Is he spinning? I need to slow him down a bit, because that's ridiculous. Set animation speed to 2. Just see if his direction is changing. Yes, good. Interestingly, now they're all spinning. Oh no, we were spotted. Let's just make it look slightly nicer and put a little thing behind the text box. Let's lock our layer 0 for a minute. So I got that. Yeah, that's probably about right. 2 minutes. Let's see if I can make this final room like a bit more actually, you know, you do stuff. There's some walls in. Yeah, that'll do. That's a thing. There we go. That is 75 minutes of game dev time done. And I'll be honest, I'm quite happy with what has been achieved in such a short space of time. So let's see how it works. So the first one, you know, really simple. Press the spacebar key, pushes a box, and you have to get it under the button. If an enemy spots you, you get the game over screen, and you can start again. Obviously, it's untidy, but functionally, it's pretty good. I say, considering the time, this enemy's kind of pointless, but go to the next room. So got this guy who's facing this way. Who, if I thought about it, I probably should have given a longer line of sight. Now this is the introduction of our spinning NPC, who just spins around in the spot, therefore casting a ray in each different direction. So we could block him in if we wanted to. Note, you can't push blocks if they're adjacent to each other. So if I had 2 blocks side by side, I couldn't push the right one any further right. There we go. That's the next door open. Got a few more spinning NPCs, so we use this block just to cover ourselves for the minute. Again, block our line of sight. Make sure he can't see us. And sprint past to the next bit. We've got to get a block through there, but there are 2 NPCs here who can see us. They'll send us right back to the beginning if we're not careful. I can't go that way because it'll ruin it, so we have to go around the bottom here. Ah, I've ruined it without block. And I was spotted. Rubbish! Eventually you get to the green thing and I really can't be bothered to do all of that again. So the next Construct Twitch Jam will be the 7th of April. Please do come along and join us for that. For more madness of creating a game in a stupidly short space of time. So yeah, thanks so much guys. Have a good rest of the week. Bye bye.